So the Monty Python star Terry Gilliam has had his production cancelled at the Old Vic Theatre because he happened to give a recommendation on Twitter of Dave Chappelle's special. So the staff are very upset. It's a very traumatic experience for them that someone could have like an opinion. Not even really an opinion, just a recommendation. This special's great. You should watch it. Right, get rid of him. That's what lunatics these places have working at them. This staff that are so weak and soft, and that no one's ever said anything against them. They just can't. They can't handle. How could he dare recommend something? But that's all it was. All he's done is recommended Dave Chappelle's special because it was great, and then the staff were all upset, so they've had to have a discussion. They've had to have a discussion about it. But London's historic Old Vic Theatre has abruptly cancelled a production of the Stephen Sondheim musical Into the Woods, helmed by actor and director Terry Gilliam, after venue staff voiced their displeasure with the Monty Python legend's recent recommendation of Dave Chappelle's new Netflix special, The Closer. Well, I've got news for you, Old Vic Theatre. Your staff are a bunch of wet wipes. If you did, I don't know why you didn't know that already, but yes, they're weak people. Very weak-minded. Very fragile. But this is what he said. He said, I'm encouraging all of you to watch Dave Chappelle's new show, The Closer, on Netflix. To me, he's the greatest stand-up comedian alive today. Incredibly intelligent, socially aware, dangerously provocative, and gut-wrenchingly funny. There is a storm brewing over Netflix's support for the show. I'd love to hear your opinions. So that's all he said, and this has led to, right, we can't have your show at this theatre because how dare you recommend this special to your followers? So pretty much just a recommendation. He didn't give an opinion other than that Dave Chappelle's the greatest stand-up comedian. That's like the only opinion in there. So you can't even recommend anything these days without getting something done to you. Though brief and encouraging of debate between both supporters and critics of Chappelle, Gilliam's innocuous comment sparked backlash amongst Old Vic staff, which in turn led to the cancellation of his upcoming production. In a brief statement that sidestepped the actual explanation for the show's cancellation, before we even read what the Old Vic, we know why they cancelled his production. The Old Vic Theatre told news outlet The Stage, they said, ahead of any season announcement, senior management at the Old Vic would meet with directors who are programmed to work in the season as a matter of course to discuss art, culture, and values. That's what you got to discuss, apparently, at a theatre. This happened with the co-directors of Into the Woods, Terry Gilliam and Leah Hausman. But all this is to do with it's because he didn't say what they wanted him to say, so we can't have him. I mean, really, it's just the senior staff have just been shafted by the little weaklings that can't handle that someone would like Chappelle's special, which the majority of people like Chappelle's special. If you dislike Chappelle's special, then you're pretty much in the minority. But this is what sharing an opinion or just like recommend, this is what this gets you in trouble. We now live in a world where recommending a special gets you in trouble. But they threw a bunch of other stuff in there, like other comments he said in the past that they didn't quite like. The upset staff members also reportedly took issue with Gilliam's past criticisms of the Me Too movement, which he had described as a witch hunt, because, yeah, in some cases, it's a witch hunt. In which there were a lot of people, decent people or mildly irritating people, who were getting hammered. Yeah, nothing at all wrong with that statement. I hate Harvey, the actor told UK news outlet The Independent in January 2020. I had to work with him and I know the abuse, but I don't want people saying that all men. Because on the 1991 film Fisher King, 2 producers were women. One was a really good producer and the other was a neurotic bitch. It wasn't about their sex, it was about the position of power and how people use it. Notably, the Old Vic found itself the centre of its own Me Too controversy after it was discovered that Kevin Spacey, who served as the theatre's artistic director from 2003 to 2015, had used his position to enact routine sexual abuse on young male actors. Though Gilliam himself could not be reached for comment, John Berry, whose production company Scenario 2 holds the rights for Into the Woods, told UK news outlet The Times that his team was focusing on finding a new home for this show. These things happen, yeah, but these things shouldn't happen, should they? You shouldn't get your show pulled because you expressed an opinion on Twitter. So these things don't happen. This isn't a normal fucking thing. It is not normal for someone in this play or whatever it is to voice an opinion or support or whatever behind Dave Chappelle, which that shouldn't even be controversial. That's not normal. That is not what the normal world looks like. Normal thinking people, just normal people in general, don't go, right, well, he recommended Dave Chappelle's special, so we got to get rid of him somehow. He cannot have his theatre production here. He cannot have this at the Old Vic because we employ a bunch of bitches, a bunch of pussies that can't handle the fact that not everybody in the world agrees with them. It's not the first change of plan for a West End show or the last, and current times everywhere are unpredictable. However, in a brief bit of optimism, Berry then promised fans that the designs and vision for the show is vintage Gilliam. But apparently this is all it takes to get your show pulled at the Old Vic. You just got to recommend Dave Chappelle's special, say, oh, he's a funny comedian, he's intelligent, and they want to pull your show because of that. Because they just hire these weak people that they've never once came across someone that disagreed with them. That's at least what it sounds like to me. And I think this shows another aspect to this whole Dave Chappelle thing as well. But because they've cut their losses because they're never going to cancel Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is not someone that's ever going to be cancelled. So I reckon what you'll start to see, they start going after people that have just said, oh, they liked it. I don't really think we've seen it yet, but I imagine it's coming at some point. They'll just go out they'll find weaker targets that they'll probably go that sort of way with it. Maybe if they're that mental, which I think they are, they'll probably take it that way. But this situation seems like it's coming from the staff rather than it is from people on Twitter. But I'm sure they'll find somewhere else for the production anyway. I don't really think there's that much need to worry. But there'll probably be a few places that will follow in this theatre's footsteps. But this is all it takes. This is all it takes to go, we can't have your show here because you recommended Dave Chappelle. Absolute just nuts. I don't know why they're hiring these people that like the staff members were upset about this. They were upset. How weak can you get? But that's all I got to say on that anyway. So if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.